Kojo,
Yes, brother.
thank you for coming on, man.
No worries, no worries.
Thank you very much. Listen, I wanted to get a comedian on
Okay.
because I feel like comedians are the news reporters of society. That's what I thought for a very long time. I feel like if you want to know what's going on in society, go to a comedy club, go to a comedian. Because
Would you say it from an American standpoint or a British standpoint or just in general?
I think in general.
Right.
I think in general. So when you go to comedians, they have a way of telling you the truth in a way in which you can digest it.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Absolutely, yeah. I think, we're definitely reporters. We are pulling from the uncomfortable in order to find humour. I think our job is to find humour at the end. But sometimes which limits us to how far we can go with the joke.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we've got to find the punchline. Otherwise, you've just done a TED talk.
Yeah.
Do
And
you know what I
offending
mean?
someone as well at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
I mean, we're not worried about offending people per se. It's more about the story can only go so far for so long because we've got to make sure that the punchline's there.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Just in the art form of telling a joke. But then also it's what stage you are in your career as well. So if no new comedian jumps out the window with their opinions because we've got to respect your humour first.
Right.
Before we're comfortable enough for you to
Okay.
pause for a
That's
minute
interesting.
and be like telling us your opinions. Do you know what I mean? I think there's phases. There's be funny
Yeah.
when you first come through.
Right. Yeah.
Be funny, bro.
Yeah.
Don't care about your opinions right now because you got 5 minutes anyway. Be funny.
That's interesting.
Then we trust when you've built a couple of years in the game where we've consistently seen you being funny, then it's okay, what do you think?
Right.
Yeah?
Right.
Then you show what you think and then it becomes what are you going through?
Right.
So there's phases in terms of comedy that I believe anyway.
What phase do you think you're in?
I'm at the phase now is what you're going through.
Right. Okay, so you feel like the foundation's laid?
Yeah, because I don't have to prove if I'm funny anymore. That's
Right.
You don't become funny and then lose funny. You don't like sometimes you hear people go, "This person ain't funny anymore." No, they're probably not. They're not there because there's no real proof of. You lose that. It's like Jay-Z's not gonna prove that he's the
best
top rapper.
Right.
He's past that.
Do you think now? Do you struggle now to find material though to be funny?
No, I don't struggle to find material. I just, I'm in that transition space where it's weird, like maybe I should have done it a few years ago, but I'm now letting people in.
Right. Okay.
So now you're gonna get what I'm going through.
Right.
This is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
I think people know my opinions. I can be quiet spoken, I can be very opinionated, because I've been around excellence. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm sort of like a woman in a sense of, once I've had an experience, I refuse to go down. You see what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Guys in general, we can go up, down, up, down.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But in terms of when you've experienced fine dining, no one can't bring McDonald's to you.
Right.
Do you see what I'm trying to say?
It's steak now.
It's steak now.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's just because of the blessings that I've had along the way of who have been around. I can't unlearn things now because I know better. Do you know what I mean?
So going back to like the news reporter stuff. So for me, my top comedians, are Dave Chappelle,
Of course.
Patrice O'Neill,
Of course.
and I would say Bill Burr. And I feel like they tell you, like again, the story of society, of humanity in a jokey way.
Yeah.
Who were your top comedians?
Mine would be, it changes every hour.
All right. Well, you would know more than me.
Yeah, but I think overall, I think Chappelle, Richard Pryor,
Okay.
Chris Rock, Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
That would probably be my Mount Rushmore.
Okay. Those four, that's it. No one else.
I
Is
love
there
Martin
anyone
Lawrence.
All right.
I love Martin Lawrence.
Yeah,
I think Martin Lawrence is the reason why I got into comedy.
You?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I just happened to come across a video of him doing stand-up, which I thought was a movie, and then that's when I was like, I want to do what he's doing. So he's the first person I really took into. Then I started watching Def Comedy Jam, where he was the host. introducing people, and then you learn about Steve Harvey,
You haven't even mentioned Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac as well.
That's
yeah,
for
Bernie
me,
Mac.
but I love Bernie Mac.
Yeah, but I think Bernie Mac, I think he's been powerful, but we never saw enough of him outside of the Kings of Comedy. So when you think about Bernie Mac, people that only know him from that one taste that they really got when he became prominent. So even although on the circuit in America, because remember, I'm not in comedy then. When Bernie Mac's going, I'm not even in comedy. I'm just watching Def Comedy Jam, seeing what he was doing. Again, there's no real catalogue of loads of Bernie Mac performances.
I get you though.
It's just the same ones that hit home so hard that he's in people's thing. But no one can honestly say outside of America they saw a lot of Bernie Mac.
That's very true.
Because there's not many clips.
That's very true. Going back again to like this the news reporter thing. For me, I call myself a social commentator. Yeah. And so I feel like there's a boundary that I know that if I cross on social commentating, there's a backlash. Yeah. Do you find the same thing? Because I feel like you and I may do the same thing, but you have the ability, I guess, to use comedy when doing it. I speak on social issues, but I don't do it in a comedic way. Do you think that you'll be able to push boundaries with that more so than someone?
I think I may get the license to go there because they may want that maybe the journey may be funnier,
right,
to the same point. You see what I'm trying to say?
I
might pull back a little bit here and there to throw some humor in it to delay the ultimate point, but I still end up in the same place. But maybe my way there was a bit more comfortable. It had more cushions.
Because I don't know if you saw the Sticks and Stones one where Dave Chappelle done the LBGT.
I was touring with him when he was building that set up. Yeah, so when he was building the set, I'd seen it all.
Really?
But the only thing I hadn't seen was the alphabet joke.
The alphabet one. Okay, so what happened with me, myself, social commentating. I social commentated on the LBGT community. My Instagram was disabled.
Oh, yeah,
it was disabled. So I just feel like things can be said in the same way. The same thing can be said differently. And I think comedians have a way in which they can say this thing differently.
I think that's the case, but also I think I believe you've got to earn your right to have an opinion.
As a comedian or as a person in general?
As a person.
Seriously?
I think you've got to earn that, because what I mean by earning that is like everyone can have an opinion.
And everyone does.
Yeah, but not everyone needs to share their opinion. And the reason why I think that's different is because we'll be running around in circles then if just because you're allowed to say to me that wall's black, I'm allowed to say that's my opinion, then what world are we going into? Because now I'm being ignorant. But I know that I can be ignorant because I have an opinion. And you can't tell me that wall's not black. And that's where I feel like we're at now with certain opinions. However, if you're earning an opinion, it's going through what you're going through now. See, the issue is, for example, with you've jumped out of the window to many. Yeah, they may feel like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen you before, and I'm trying to struggle in the capacity, but I know I've seen your face before, right? Before
all the social commentating stuff.
Right? And you're earning that now. So you may want your message to land, but it might actually land in December. Right. When people are like, okay, this is what this guy does.
Right. This is what he's about.
Yeah, but when the masses are introduced to somebody, there's no journey. They're like, well, hold on, who's this man talking X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
But because guess what? If you now stop, it was pointless.
Correct. I've got to keep going.
And you're earning your opinion to the masses, and that's what you're going through now.
That's interesting. It's funny you said that you saw my face before, because I used to act.
Right, that's probably
I used to be an actor.
Right, that's probably
Back in the 2000s, I was on a TV show, I was on a soap opera, I was doing like BBC stuff. It's interesting because at that time when you and I think we're roughly the same age.
Yeah.
Roughly the same age. At that time when I was acting, the roles for black actors were quite few and far between. They had your Richard Blackwoods, they had your Ashley Walters.
And Lenny Henry when it was an emergency.
Exactly, your Lenny Henrys. But now there's been like an explosion of like black, I guess, entertainment. How healthy would you say, or how much bigger, or how much more healthy could the black UK scene be?
I think most scenes are driven by the music scene. The music scene leads the way. Because music has the impact to immediately change emotion, right? Without, for example, if we watch the horror movie without the scoring.
Without the music?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's a whole nother
that's very true.
feeling
That's
of
very true.
that scene, right? So music has the power to influence the environment immediately, right? So I always think with any scene or culture, music leads the way. Then it's followed by, I believe, humor.
Okay.
Yeah. So I feel like the music side of things now, the average car now is playing a UK song.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
I get that.
that wasn't the case when we were growing up. Yeah, it was
UK artists would still had American accents.
But this is what I'm trying to say,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Until I think So Solid was probably the first to shift that.
Yeah.
Then it became cool to just be
yourself.
us.
Innit? Yeah.
You can have the bling and all that, but we still English.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
And then it's trickled on, you know. And you now have a situation where young boys and young girls are putting music out independently, making millions because of streaming, because of all this other stuff, right? And the power's coming back to the creator now.
Of the actual...
Yeah, it's coming back to claim now. You know, people are talking about, oh, when you're not going to get a TV show, but if I had a TV show tomorrow, who's really going to watch it?
On national TV?
Yeah. No one. I went on we'll get to that better, but I went on a talent show that is just like a staple of television. So it's like Love Island. When that comes on, we're going to sit down in front of the television again.
Watch it, yeah.
But until that comes on, I'm not watching television. I don't watch TV. Euros, okay, big moment. People are watching television only for big moments now. They're not watching because someone's got a new show out and no one cares. If it's not on YouTube or on my phone, I'm not watching it when you tell me to watch it. I don't care what time it's advertised. I'm going to probably pre-record it, watch it in my own time, as I do with everything else. So I think the entertainment business is in a very healthy spot. I just feel like film, comedy needs to get to where music is.
Right, yeah, I agree.
The stories, the real stories.
So do you think, like, you see with the black entertainment industry, so you have people like ZZ Mills, who's the most prominent female, I would say, in our culture. Do you think, because you just said that who would watch your TV show, do you think that ZZ Mills would be the same, I guess, high caliber of, I guess, entertainer, social commentator if she was on mainstream TV?
No. Because having been in the game for a long time, look, this generation, and ZZ's not really this generation, she's talking to this generation, but she's been around for a minute.
Yeah.
And this generation's mindset is, you can't tell me what to say. Yeah? That is the freedom that the internet has given to people. Yeah? The truth is on the internet. It's not on television. It never will be. And I always go back to Superman. We grew up watching a man fly and we ain't seen that yet in real life. It doesn't exist. So that's what television is. Television is where you go for aspiration. And I use that loosely in this country because we don't sell that. We sell bricks and grey and rain. That's what we sell. Yeah, gritty. That's us.
London.
But we don't sell aspiration. We don't create shows that make you want to be a character. Do you know what I mean? When you go and watch television, you don't leave that thinking, oh, I want to be this person or that person. We don't do that. In America, we do. They do.
Yeah.
Loads of characters that we'd love to be Eddie Murphy and Boomerang. All these, you know what I mean?
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And no one said they want to be anything.
No one wants to be the character on Top Boy or... Yeah, I get you.
Do you know what I mean? Like the street kids might do, but in general, it's not an aspiration, right? So I feel like ZZ wouldn't be able to come up the way she's come up through television channel.
Right.
She's got a beautiful profile now. She could get a TV show, but it would not feel the same. The same as RS when he done Hood documentary.
Right.
Once BBC grabbed it,
it
became BBC documentary. It was terrible. The organic layers that was on there was stripped off because we tried to clean it up. It's like if I did my comedy club today,
Yeah.
I'd know too much. I'd be overqualified.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have felt, I can't recreate what I did then because I didn't know what I was doing. And part of not knowing what I was doing was what made it what it was. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So there's something beautiful in a lack of knowledge because it's fearless and you're just getting things done. And that's what people like. I remember we once took the comedy club into a really nice venue and people just hated it.
Right. They wanted that intimate.
They wanted that intimate.
Raw
They wanted,
space.
the uncomfortability.
Yeah.
They wanted to come and complain about there's no more seats. They wanted that because some people just like their stuff delivered like that. It's even like, in relationships. People want peace, but how many people have experience of it? Not many people, probably 5%.
That's true.
So when you get into a lovely relationship, that's when you're most uncomfortable because you're like, I've not been here before. I don't know how to survive. I don't know what to do here.
In peace.
In peace.
Wow.
What does peace feel like? Who can really answer that question? And not peace for a moment, consistently.
That's gonna segue me into your podcast now. The stuff that you discussed on the rap party. I've watched a few episodes. I've watched a few episodes, and I feel like there is a new wave of what they call the manosphere. Yeah, men telling their side of the story, how they feel about relationships. There's called the red pill community, people like Kevin Samuels, stuff like that. Do you feel like your podcast is or wants to become or be part of what they call the manosphere?
Absolutely.
Right. Okay.
And we're intentionally doing that.
Right.
Because just before I started the podcast, I was going through like my breakup with my son's mother, and I was just dealing with a lot, as well as the lockdown. Because we started at the beginning of lockdown. My agent rang me and he was like, what about starting a podcast? I'd done one before with another guy called Teeth, called Nothing to Declare.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a podcast. We'd done about like five episodes.
Right.
And it was really good, but then Teeth got signed to a music deal and then he was doing his music thing, big up to Teeth. And Teeth, what I liked about him, he was like Charlemagne.
Right.
Like no friends in the industry, he talked about everybody.
Yeah. Pulled no punches.
None. None. I was the humour and we had that. We talked about what was going on. Right. But again, I'm happy because he's done his thing and he's doing well now.
Right.
I think with this lot, it was me, my closest friends, people who I've known for like over 9 years. So these ain't people that I've just paired myself up with. These are people who, when I've been going through dark moments, kept the light on for me.
Nice.
People who I've added to shared experiences with, benefited. These are like my brothers,
Right.
And when everything was taken away from us, we still had each other.
100%.
And we have a brotherhood where is every day happy and rosy and everyone gets along? No. But no one ain't going anywhere. This is what I'm trying to say. Like this is a pool of friends where I trust them, they trust me. We're all sort of different ranges of age as well. So we get the innocence of youth and we get the ignorance of age.
Or the wisdom, bro.
I mean, I'm going on the. I think those are the easy things to say with those two things. Yeah. But I'm going on the fact that I can be in my set ways sometimes. Yeah, I'd like to think that I'm projecting positivity because that's what I.
But it could just be old man ignorance.
Yeah, but sometimes I can be ignorant when I'm sitting next to Natty, and Natty's 26. And he's telling me, bro, no one ain't saying that no more. Do you know what I mean? Like those are the realities of the world. So I like the fact that our disagreements are just coming from where we are, and the experiences we had. But overall, we can realize that why is a 26-year-old complaining about the same thing that a
45-year-old or whatever is complaining about? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's an issue.
Yeah.
And if you can see that, then it's like, well, things ain't changed for men.
Well, do you think that space for black men is needed in these days and times?
Absolutely.
Because I feel like a lot of the time, people always talk, but a lot of the time, I don't feel black men's issues are spoken about. I don't think they're taken that seriously. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I think the mental health issue within black men is huge. That's not taken that seriously. So yeah, I like the fact that also with I went on a podcast called the Baby Fathers podcast.
Yeah.
And I like it's DJ Riddler. Shout out to DJ Riddler. I feel like these man spaces are actually needed because there's a lot of stuff we need to talk about, man.
Yeah. It's a must. It's a must because I love the fact that women have risen up. They've had enough of whatever they've gone through. They have a voice now where they want to come and talk, and change is happening because of that, right? But I always say, the men haven't spoken yet.
Right.
And I'm telling you, if we ever, and I don't think we will, because we are men who put women first. Whether they feel like we do or not.
Are you talking about your guys on the right?
I'm talking about men in general.
Right, okay.
Men have not spoken. And I'm telling you, if men start to speak, and if we ever get to a place where there's no fear in men talking, and men aren't afraid in the sense of, oh, we're scared of women.
Right.
It's that we know what we've got. We've got a nuclear bomb.
100%.
We've got a nuclear bomb. We ain't got guns and bullets, and we've got a nuclear bomb. If men come out and talk about what they've been through with women, I don't believe women will talk to 90% of the people that they're in their friendship groups. I don't think they'd like each other. You wouldn't believe, I know you know, but women wouldn't believe what men are containing. They wouldn't believe it. And this is a gender that has to just carry that.
Yeah, because that's what we're told.
Yeah.
Which is why probably the mental health issue is so prominent, because we're told to carry it, shut up, get on with it. Whereas a lot of the time now, men just need to vent. They need to start venting because they've been carrying a lot for a long time.
And I think,
but a lot of the time you tell that to women, you and I are both on Clubhouse. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? A lot of the time you tell that to women, you get a certain reaction.
But you have to remember, they are now seeing us communicate like they've never. See, this is they've asked for communication from men, but they don't like the delivery. And they're not respecting the fact that we've just started communicating.
Yeah.
Because we communicate with fists.
Yeah.
That's all we know.
Yeah.
We two men. Don't take long for
true.
Disagreement to get there. We don't really do the talking thing. That's not us. We're used to carrying that weight, just carrying it. Clubhouse for me is a woman's haven. You can go on there, you can moan, that's probably saved a lot of relationships. We go on there and moan. Go on Clubhouse and vent, and you come back home and tell me you love me. Like, go over there and you vent. But now you're getting men coming on, like myself, like yourself, who are verbalizing what they're going through, their opinion. And because that is normally where women's strength lies in the verbal communication, it's weird for them to understand. Why are men talking so much? Why are you not talking about women's business?
Yeah.
Well, I thought you wanted communication. How did you see the communication going? But this is, in fairness to women, this is new for them, this talkative man. It's new.
Because men normally just stoic, chill out, won't say much.
It's new for them. And we ask for certain things, but when we get it, it's like, whoa,
we don't know how to deal with it.
So I'm saying, men communicating is a form of peace.
100%.
But that's what I'm saying. But 100%. They're not used to peace.
Right.
So I'm not used to getting this thing that I want, that I've craved for, because I crave it in theory. But I never thought of. Well, I want men to communicate, but I never once thought about how's that going to be delivered.
Because we deliver our message differently.
Cold as ice.
Yeah, we deliver our message differently.
And that's the nice way. Because we want to get to the point. Because if you slow us down to break down, it's going to be painful.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think men are carrying a nuclear bomb of things that they've gone through, and we're not allowed to vent or to have a moment even where you go, I'm pissed off today and I just want to talk about X, Y, Z. So you might go on your platform and you might say, fuck it, this is how I'm feeling today. And that's met with raw.
Yeah.
You can't have one day?
Yeah.
You can't have one day where you feel like that?
Which is why you see now the manosphere has grown so much because it's like men were just waiting. They were waiting on a space where they could talk.
This to me, and I don't want to be disrespectful, this is men saying me too. This is men listening to other men and going, bro, I thought it was only me. I thought it was only me.
Yeah.
I've dealt with a madness. Bro, like...
For years.
But this is what I'm trying to say. Remember, we're not verbal specialists. We don't do the talking thing. But we're gradually doing that because of people like yourself, because of the podcast, because of other people who are coming, like the Kevin Samuels, all the other people who are allowing men to regain their own value to themselves. Men are raised to give. We're not even comfortable to receive. We're not here to receive. I'm going to go and get all my money to give to something. That's what my money's for, to give. I'm going to sit down and hold my money for. My money's to give, whether that's women, whether that's children. Family, whatever. A man who keeps his money, that don't make sense to us. I got the money to give it.
To what am I doing? Just holding it.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, what am I sitting down there with all this thing in my finger and everyone's having a good time, but I got more money than them, but they're having a good time. Yeah. I'm not even having a good time because you need to release it to have a good time.
Right.
We have good times in many different ways as men, right? Some good, some bad. But ultimately, we're here to provide. Even the man that has no money is here to provide in various different capacities.
So you talk about the nuclear bomb that men have got. The rap party's going on tour.
Yep.
Are you going to release that nuclear bomb on tour?
I think, we know already what's going to happen.
Right.
It's going to be a whole bunch.
How many dates is there?
Three.
Okay.
It's a mini tour. And we are going to Manchester, Birmingham and London. And, this is the first time for the guys, do you know what I mean, going on the road. They came on tour with me when I was doing stand-up tour, and now it's like, look, this is what I've created for me and my boys.
Right.
Let's do this. Just what I'm trying to say. Yeah. But whilst we're doing this, while we're being entertained, we're actually learning from each other. Do you know what I mean? Like, we have so many conversations in our WhatsApp group. That's what made me think, let me just do something. But I didn't want to do no industry stuff. I didn't want it to be like me and these industry people. I want to do something with my friends. I've done this for a long time. Right. I just want to do something now where it's me and them and them. I don't want it to feel like work.
So, piggybacking off that, so you're talking about you wanted to do this for your mandem. So when you done the BTG, the Britain's Got Talent, what was the difference that you found in where you've come from to that type of, I guess, high level production, comedic wise?
That we as black people in this country, we really think the volume of our community is loud, and it's not.
Right.
When I was on Britain's Got Talent and I burst into tears, people may have believed it was because of the Golden Buzzer and Simon Cowell and all of that stuff. Do you know why I was tearful?
Go on.
I was tearful because all I was thinking about was what the black community were going to say.
What, positive and negative?
Yeah.
Right.
No, negative.
Negative.
Think about nothing positive. Because we don't, you know positivity. When people are nice to us, we throw it away, don't we?
Right.
Most people do.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to be like you. It's that thing we throw away positivity. We want it, but when we get it, it's a bit uncomfortable sometimes when someone's bigging you up too much. So we focus on all the hate. We know how to deal with hate. I know how to deal with that. But I don't know how to deal with love. Most of us don't. When people are always being positive to you.
That's interesting.
We would it in theory, but the moment someone's polite to us, we throw it away. And I'm not saying dash, but we were like, oh yeah, but your dress is nice too. But we don't sit in the compliment.
Yeah, we don't sit and enjoy it. Yeah.
We don't sit in the compliment. We throw it back. Yeah, but you're cute too. Like that's what we do. So for me, all I was thinking about was what the black community gonna say when I come on the show.
Right.
And I'm worried about 2% of this country. Think about that. I'm worried about 2% of this country and what they think. That's all that was going through my head. I wasn't thinking about the 98
rest of the country
that are going to be like, whoa, who's this guy? That should have been the motivation, right? But all I was thinking about is, in that moment, to get something extraordinary happen to me was tears of joy that my own community wasn't gonna be able to slander me for making this decision.
But you done that for you though.
I did that, not for myself, I did it because my son.
Right, okay.
When that opportunity presented itself, I threw it away. I was like, I ain't doing that show. I wasn't doing that show for.
Right.
Because Kojo, without being a dad, wouldn't have gone on there.
Right.
I would have been in my ego. I would have been in my pride. I would have blocked 98 people from knowing who I am and satisfied the 2%. That's what I would have done. And the 2% were done with Kojo. Let's be honest.
Right.
That's how I felt.
Right.
The 2% that I've served for 20 years,
Right.
I thought were done with me. They'd moved on.
Yeah.
And the space that I was in wasn't in the good. I wasn't in a good space. I think I did an interview with the Mirror. I had £30 in my account on that day. I recorded Britain's Got Talent.
Wow.
Son, fiance, getting down there, worried about how you're gonna get back.
Yeah.
All of that, and then one thing throughout any situation that I've ever been through, I've always 101% been able to rely on myself. I will bet on myself 1,000 times.
7 days out of the week.
7 days. I know what I contain. I know my mind. I know what I have. I will never be broke. Never. And I'm not talking about broke in terms of having no money in my account, because I've had zero. But I've always been rich in my ability. I've always been rich in the mindset that I have and my delivery. Do you know what I mean?
No,
Like
I get you.
I've always known on my worst day, I'm still a rich black man that can deliver.
Right.
I can fall, but I will always get back up because I know what happens when I get back up. So I'm not afraid of failure. I'm not afraid of losing, you know?
So you've got now a book coming out.
Yeah.
The way you're talking now, it sounds like the book's going to be quite deep, bro.
The book, it's...
What's it called, first of all?
All Jokes Aside.
Okay.
It's called All Jokes Aside.
When's it out?
Where I wanted to bring it out in January for my birthday, but I'm listening to my publicist and we're gonna go and get a deal.
Okay.
But it's gonna be out next year for sure. 3 years it took me to write the book.
Right.
I started writing the book because my son was coming, and I wanted to get all of that trauma, all of that stuff that I've been carrying, this nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
I wanted to get it out because I'll tell you what, when this book comes out, it's gonna be the nuclear bomb.
Right.
It's going to, because I mentioned names in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't think the UK has ever seen a book like this, not from our culture.
Wow.
So anyone who's come into contact with me and my career is in the book.
Right.
For various reasons.
Right.
Good, bad, apologies that I have to make to people.
Right. Was it therapy?
It was. I wanted to release all of these things that were going in my head before my son came. I didn't want none of those, because sometimes we're carrying things that we're not aware of.
100%.
And it's energy that's going towards the people that you love.
100%.
And I was done with holding that back. There's people that I've blessed in this business. There's people in my life, from women who came into my life at the wrong time for me.
Right.
But the right time for them.
For them.
There's me having my heart broken for the first time and what man I became after that. There's going to America and working with Russell Simmons in New York and meeting Mariah Carey and going on a breakfast club with Charlamagne and them guys and Nick Cannon Wild and Out and touring with, Chris Rock, Chappelle, Kevin Hart. This is a boy from East London, Hackney. One of those things would have been
enough.
Enough. One of those things. And this stems from me growing up in foster care and my parents going to jail when I was 5 years old and dealing with being the older brother and how my younger siblings were my security. You see what I'm trying to say? That they were my security. And it's dealing with all of those things that when you step on stage and you got 20 minutes to be funny, no one knows this stuff. Partly I'm responsible for it because there's people who've known me for like 30 years that don't know me.
Right.
I've done a beautiful job of protecting my truth. Mm-hmm. But I feel like now is the time to really let people in, let people know how they've made me feel. Because the book made me realize this, and this is the key message in the book, that we are all either a hero or a villain in someone else's movie.
Right.
That's what we are. And sometimes it's unconsciously. Because I may have felt a way about somebody, but I didn't even know that they were dealing with X, Y, and Z. But all I'm worried is about my 24 hours.
Yeah.
And in that 24 hours, that's how you made me feel.
Yeah.
Vice versa.
Yeah.
I may have had to say no to somebody that ruined the next 7 years of their life. But in that moment, I couldn't say anything else because of what I was going through. But these are the impacts that we all have on each other. Those split-second decisions change lives. You know, but someone walks away saying that you saved their life or you caused their hell. And sometimes it's been intentional.
You've spoken about fatherhood quite a bit. How are you finding that as a black man? Are you a single father right now? How are you finding raising your boy in London with, I'll preface it because, you know, there's a lot of young black boys getting into knife crime now. What does that make you feel for the relationship with you and your son and his relationship, I guess, to London life?
I think, so my situation at the moment is, so my son and his mother live in Birmingham.
Right, okay.
Which has been difficult because I'm missing out on those little moments. I get some here and there when I have him, but I'm missing out on those little moments of taking him to school, picking him up. It's not down the road, it's miles away. You know? So that's been the most challenging beginning of lockdown, not seeing him for like 14 weeks. Wow. Because everyone's stuck at home, can't go nowhere. This one even a place where you can go and see your kids, everyone's locked down. Do you know what I mean? All of that was going through, you know, that was tough. And my son also has a disability called muscular dystrophy, which is like a muscle disease.
Right.
He was told that he probably wouldn't walk, and today he's running around kicking footballs and stuff. So this is kind of like the little things that I've been dealing with as well. This is what I'm trying to say. Aside from not being with his mother, and it's been difficult. But again, you fall into default mode. Yeah. You get on with it.
You get on with it. Yeah, it's true.
You don't really talk about it too much. You don't think about yourself. You just think about what you got to do. Lockdown, no income. I was blessed enough to have just done the national tour. Right. So financially, I was okay. That held me down. 2 years ago, two years ago, I wouldn't known how I would have survived this. As even some other comedians, what they're going through.
Right, I can imagine.
Tough, self-employed people.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But God knew what He was doing in my life, and He knew what was coming, and I had no stress in that department. So that was great. But being a father for me is it's learning about what kind of father I am.
Right. Did you surprise yourself as to what type of father you were?
I was, yeah. Yeah. Because I thought that when my son, or being a dad even, I thought that was going to be a family unit and more kids and going on. I never once thought that I would have a child and not be with the mum. I understand that. You couldn't sell me that. You couldn't even convince me if you saw my future ahead of me I waited for that. So for me, for that not to be the case, that took a lot to deal with.
Did you feel like you planned it? Yeah. And then the plan just went...
Do you know what was hard? That's probably the first thing that I felt like I failed at.
Yeah, same here.
Everything else was in my control. Everything part of my career, I've had, you know what I mean, it's been on time.
Yeah.
I've done what I've wanted to do.
Yeah.
This is the only thing that involves another person.
Yeah. And you're not in control of them.
Yeah. And that's where I felt like I failed that side of things because, but then, you know, I was speaking to my manager who's married. And
you realise that you dodged a bullet.
No, it was more like, not even dodging the bullet, it was more like he brought me back to the benefits of this situation.
Right.
Sometimes splitting up, you see all the negatives straight away. Mm-hmm. But there's plus sides to it as well. I think there's plus sides to most things. Of giving her space to be the kind of mother she wants to be. Mm-hmm. And giving me the space to be the kind of father I want to be.
Right, okay.
There's different kind of fathers. There's fathers who are financially there but not there physically. Mm-hmm. There's guys who are not financially sound but always there.
Yeah.
There's the working father who's puts priority in security, making sure that these experiences can keep going on, right? And making sure that his son, for me, has a house in his name when he's 18. My son has to have more than I had at each stage, and not in a way of spoiling him, because people get carried away with that. Oh, I didn't even have this, and I want to get no. That's a recipe for disaster. It's putting him in a situation where the world is truly his oyster. Not saying it. Yeah. The world's your oyster and there's no evidence. Where's the evidence of this oyster that you keep talking about? Yeah. Furthermore, has your daughter even tasted oyster? Right. Much less the world's their oyster. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, the world's oyster when your child has a house in his name when he's 18. Right. 20 grand in the bank. And something that he loves to do. That for me is my job.
So then I was going to ask you, like, as we're rounding out, how important is legacy to you? And what type of legacy do you want to leave?
I think legacy to me, and I'm going to be brutally honest, it probably means more than family. Right. And that's going to make people shocked to hear that. But I want my son to admire me. That's everything. I don't care about nothing else. I want my son to admire me, and not, because what we do, and this isn't something that is unspoken about, we love our parents, but do we admire them? It's not the same. We love our parents, but do we rate them? Not respect, rate. I can respect you and not rate you. Do I look at my mum and go, as a woman, I want to be just like her? Right. Do I look at my dad and go, Dad, I want to be just like you. Yeah. I want to have the same morals. I want to have the same discipline. I want to win like, do you know what I mean? Like, I want to win. Do we look at our parents and rate them? And I think most of us, and I would go as far as say 90%, bro, don't. Because we've seen the cracks. Right. And now we start telling ourselves.
That's a human experience, though.
It is, but as much as if that's just a human experience, that's like saying, well, we can't alter what that experience is. Oh, we can. We can. But people fall on well, that's just what it is. And I don't do none of that. You spoke about, am I right about my son in today's society? No. Because I don't plan on him being around. Right. For the norm. Right, I get you. My son ain't never gonna spend no half term when he's old enough. He ain't gonna spend no half term here. Right. Take you and your buddies or whatever, and you're going X, Y, and Z. Right. You're going to Portugal. Right. Yeah. We're going to X, Y, and Z. Yeah. You ain't gonna be hanging around. You ain't gonna have time to hang around.
Street corners.
I'm not working for you to hang around.
That's right.
That's me. Kojo talking. I don't want to tell people how to raise their children. That's right. Yeah. But my children ain't gonna have time to hang around. I'm not working hard and trying to be great for them to hang around. I want you to see the world. I want you to be too busy to hang around. I grew up in Hackney, East London, in foster care. My aunt who raised me, which is what I call her Sandra, she kept us busy, bro. Camping trips, Cubs, Scouts, football tournaments, netball, hockey, tennis. I did all of these things. End up being a comedian. But I knew all of these things, the lesson of doing all these different things was options.
Right. Yeah, it's just giving you options.
That's all.
Yeah.
Now, when I get to when I become a man and I'm going for a career, I chose the comedy route. That because I knew I had options. I knew I didn't have to go and work in a 9-to-5 job for the rest of my life. I knew I didn't have to do none of these things because options were presented to me when I was young. That's a woman who I admired and still admire now.
To this day, yeah.
I rate the woman that raised me. I rate her. I don't just respect her because she's an adult and she's older than me. I don't love her because I'm supposed to. I rate this fiber of this woman, the level of this woman who came into my life and saved my life. I don't know anything else. So my son, I want him to respect his dad. I want him to rate his dad. I want him to love his dad. But rate is the most important thing to me.
Right.
Because I want him to look at his dad and go, I admire my dad. My dad is somebody. When I walk out, people talk about my dad.
My dad, yeah.
When my dad is no longer here, they're still going to be talking about my dad.
100%.
My dad was of service to people.
That's 100%.
He gave.
I'm the same.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
100% the same.
That's my legacy. That's all I care about. That comes before family. So that means I have to be of a certain ilk.
That's right.
To even get to family. If that makes any sense.
It makes total sense. Total sense. As I said, there was a reason why I wanted to speak to comedians, bro, because the mind and I think comedians are like philosophers, bro. I think they are. I think they've got a very philosophical way of seeing the world. I think they think deeper. I think they are observational specialists.
Yeah, I think, listen, you look at this world and find funny from it, you got to be a magician. You have to be. And I think, look, there's different levels of comedian. I think with me now, I'm getting to the uncomfortable place with people. And
are you at the place yet where you don't even care if people like you or hate you? Are you at that point?
If I'm honest, I don't think I'll ever be at a place where I don't care if people like me or hate me. But I don't care about their response to my opinion.
Okay.
I want to be liked. I'm going to be honest about that. I think most people want to be liked. And as I said before about throwing likes away, I've now learned not to. You know, Letitia.
Oh yeah, Letitia, right? Is it right?
Right. She's a neighbour of mine. And I remember before she done Black Panther, it was me, Letitia Wright, Damson Idris, and one other person who was in TGI. And she said something, this young woman said something that immediately taught me how to take compliments. I've never been able to take compliments. I think most people are uncomfortable with compliments. We like them deep down, but on the outside, we're like, remember I said to you about throwing it back?
Yeah.
And every time I complimented this young woman, her response was, I received that, thank you. I received that. That to me, I had to write it in my book. That to me, something so small. I struggled with compliments. I became uncomfortable with being the main guy in comedy at the time. When everyone's looking at you, I was uncomfortable. Even when people came to my comedy club, I was always in the DJ booth.
Right.
The hottest girls in London in town, in the room, all these guys and popular men or whatever. But Kojo hid in the DJ box because I didn't like being center of attention.
Right.
I loved the job. I didn't like all the time what came with it.
Right.
Do you know? I've never been the flamboyant guy that's like, hey guys, I'm in the club, look at me. I think I had a quiet confidence from childhood.
Right.
The biggest bully in school would knock me out, but I was always in control of him.
Right.
Because you weren't gonna knock me out because I wouldn't let it get that far. You might think you're in control, but I know if I say one thing, I've got you. I've got you to the point where you're gonna wanna fight me.
Right, yeah.
But I'm controlling if this ever happens. That to me is a quiet confidence. So you might have the brawns, but my brain is working on you. I'll decide if we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
because I know how to swerve and maneuver myself around scenarios. So for me, I think I've always been kind of like, I love comedy. I really love it. Sometimes I love it too much, where it's hurt me. I've had my heart broken.
Right.
Through dealing with other comedians or wanting better for people that didn't want better for themselves. You know, it's been tough, but this book, hopefully, is the key to repairing some relationships
Right.
that are broken. Giving people understanding as to why I am the way I am.
Right.
Understanding what I've had to take in and why I'm putting out what I'm putting out.
Right.
Because we judge people on what they put out,
Yeah.
but we don't know what they've taken in.
Yeah.
And every time I hear you speak, I always go back to, I think the first video I ever saw of you when you were talking about a scenario with your ex. And somebody said on Clubhouse, a woman, and to me, this is probably the most dangerous thing I've ever heard.
Right, go on.
Ever heard.
Go on.
Always believe the victim.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
That is dangerous. Because victims can be lying about being victims.
Like, for somebody to always believe the victims. As a black man who's hunted, that's dangerous. And that was a black woman that said that. Always believe the victim, no matter what. Do you know how dangerous that is?
That is very dangerous.
No matter what.
Yeah.
Do you know what always means? That's not sometimes.
That's 100% of the time.
You're saying no matter what a victim says, believe them. That's the world we're living in. I'm more scared of that than knife crime.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm scared of that too. I've as you already know, like some stuff that I've spoken about. I've dealt with someone who was a very good victim. Do you know what I mean? And they get believed. And it's like you said, you're a black man. If there is a victim, and you are supposedly the perpetrator, they're gonna be believed anyway. You're automatically the villain.
Would the same narrative be shouted out if lynching was still going on? And this black man will get hung.
Because someone said something. Believe the victim, yeah.
Would we have the same energy for the believe the victim thing? And at no point am I saying never to listen to the victim.
Right.
At no point.
There's a difference.
Because someone's going to say, is he saying da?
Yeah.
Because they don't want to listen.
What did you do?
Because they don't want to listen. That's why I want to put it in the show. If you're listening, you're going to digest what I'm saying.
Yeah.
To always believe a victim is the most dangerous thing that I've ever heard.
100%.
As a black man.
Yes.
Because I could be walking to Tesco's to get milk.
Well, we just saw...
And I might not come back.
We just saw it, Bill Cosby being released now. All those victims were believed, and he got sent to prison. Now it's been overturned.
And that's a whole madness there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And again, I don't really know too much about that to even talk about that.
Neither do I, but I know that there were victims and they said something and they were believed. And now and he went to prison.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he done it or not. I really don't.
No one does, apart from them and him. But everybody's got an opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody says no, but this, that, the other. Everybody is trialing him based on what they've experienced as an individual. And one of the hardest things to do is to join a conversation without your experiences. That's what people need to do in order to leave with something. But you won't leave with anything if you bring your experiences to the conversation, because then it's flawed. You're listening with a lens of your own experiences.
As we all are all the time, though.
This is what I'm saying. That's why I said it's one of the hardest things to do. As I'm saying it, it isn't easy.
Right, 100.
But if we truly want to gain something from a conversation, we've got to be willing to do the work, and that is the work. Don't bring your experiences to a conversation and listen to how it sounds then.
Kojo, thank you for coming through, brother.
No worries,
Come
man.
like a philosopher.
I got jokes too.
You're a philosopher out there. Listen, bro, as always, as when I speak to people, people that I've known in the industry for a very long time, I say this to them. I'm giving you your flowers today. I appreciate what you've done for the community.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate the comedy, the amount of people you made laugh, the amount of people you made think. And I just want you to continue success into the future, my bro.
Same for you, my bro. Same for you, man. You're on your journey, bro. I appreciate you, man.
All right, bro. Thank you
very much.